Please don't hire anybody that you can't fire.
True.
It's super important that you do that. If you
family members,
please don't, if you can't fire them, please do not hire them. And because, you know, it's a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Everyone's not going to stay forever, but it gets just so sticky if there's so much of a relationship and you cannot terminate people. You have to be able to do that. Well, hello, everyone. I am super excited to welcome you back to another episode of the Thank Me Later show with me, your host, Jini Thornton, where we help you master your money and transform your life. So today, y'all, we're going to get a little bit more mastery on entrepreneurship. You know, I hear from y'all a lot, and y'all are out here navigating the economy. You know, you want to live your best life. You want to own your own business, and I get it. And just want to make sure that we're doing a good job of pouring into you. I'm just not here as an accountant, but here also just as a fellow entrepreneur to kind of give you a little bit of the game. Super excited to have my husband and partner, David Thornton, here. Hey, David.
Hey, Jini.
How you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
And just wanted to continue our conversation on entrepreneurship.
Okay.
You know, the first episode we did together, we were really helping people who wanted to get out there. Mm-hmm. Now I want to kind of, for the people who may already be out there, and kind of give them the good, the bad, and the uglies. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but just kind of want to level set. Yeah. We have had a lot of challenges in business.
Oh, yeah.
But we have been able to, clearly we've been able to navigate it. 28 plus 8 years out here in the world of entrepreneurship. We're still out here standing. Let me high five you for that.
All right.
We've done that. So I'm going to give you a couple statistics, kind of see what you think about it. So it says about 1 in 5 U.S. businesses fail within the first year of operation. When I say that, what do you think about that? Are you surprised?
No. That's true.
And why are you like, yep, I see that? Because?
Well, I think a lot of people, heck, even I've done it, want to start a business, get a business bank account, you know, get the LLC, tax ID, start all that, and then just stop. So that's one number. I think that's a lot of it. But then I think also people start a business and aren't really clear with everything that it takes to do it. So it takes them more time and more money than they thought.
Of course.
And life happens or whatever, and they either have to stop or whatever. So it's just, or they get into a business and they realize that they don't like that business, the true business point of it. I know a lot of people say, you know, start a business and follow your passion. Well, you might like to bake and you might be really good at it, but you might suck at sales. You might, or you're nervous about presenting. There are all these other aspects of it that
come with entrepreneurship. That you don't get to pick.
Other than just baking cakes, that part of it. So there are just a lot of things that people don't understand. And once they get into it, they're like, you know, I don't know. Well, I can name a million other reasons why they could fail.
Why they fail.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about business reign, you know, so problems that happen, when you think about it in the context of the businesses that we've owned, you don't have to give the details, but give some examples of some rain that we have. I'll jump in too, but I'm like, ooh, we have had some rain.
Yeah, I mean, we've even, you name it, just when, you want to go?
I mean, yeah, we've had HR employee issues.
Yeah.
We've had to terminate people.
You've had to terminate people.
We've been sued by a previous employee.
Yep. Yep.
Keep going.
Who we really looked out for. Oh. You ever? But anyway. You know who you are. So, it's all right. Still hurts.
I guess that still hurts you a little bit. That still hurts you a little. Clearly.
Right.
We've lost clients.
We fired clients.
We fired clients.
Fired a lot of clients.
Oh, my gosh.
Just the ups and downs of, you know, your business also rides on other people's ups and downs.
Yes.
So especially
economic changes,
the
pandemic, Oh my
there
God.
there are so many different ways, and don't get me wrong, it's hard. I heard one podcaster say, or a couple of them say, I am unemployable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Neo.
Right.
Great guy. Got to listen to Neo Davis. But he says, I am now unemployable. Because once you get out here, I think the benefits
Oh, definitely outweigh.
Oh,
there's no question.
But don't jump out here. If you don't have it in you to really grind 24/7,
yes,
really study 24/7, learn
Stamina.
your job, stamina,
It's all about
know it's
stamina.
going to be here for a while, you don't want to do this.
No. And I do think about the sacrifices that we've made because, I hear it all the time. If I'm talking to one of my friends or one of our relatives, first thing they're always saying, okay, Jini, I know you're busy, because I am busy a lot.
Definitely.
Now, I have more freedom than everybody I know, but I also work more than everybody I know too. So there's that kind of strange trade-off there, because I think initially people thought, oh, you all are entrepreneurs. Like we're sitting around watching Netflix and working 2 hours a day and we're chilling. It is not that.
Yeah, it kills me. And God bless people who do, is, they can have fantasy teams and watch football all Sunday
Right.
and just, and I'm like, man, I think I might have seen 2 whole NFL games, and it was only because it was the playoffs, and I made myself stop.
Right.
And then I think I had my laptop in my lap the whole time.
Right.
So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of brain space because you're always thinking.
For
you're
sure.
always trying to figure something out.
The trade-off is big though.
Yeah.
If you know how to manage money and grow, like it can be so worth it.
And it does. It also, I've had people who, and I apologize to all of my friends, I'm going to say that out here, is I owe a lot of people a call.
Right. I do better with communicating with people than you do, though.
Much better.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like,
You just tapped out.
From just talking and managing so much, I just don't have the energy.
Right. One thing that I thought about in the context of rain in business, I think about as a woman, the amount of conflict I've had to learn how to manage.
Mm-hmm.
And how I think that's just part of business, but working in the entertainment space where there's really no rules, there's certain behaviors that are more acceptable in my area that just could never fly in corporate.
Right.
And so I really have had to learn and really lean on you managing conflict with men in particular, and just having to get comfortable with conflict very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that we overlook, like not like physical fight, but you have to learn how to fight and stand up and pin people very quickly and professionally. And also not so professionally. I'm thinking about one of the we had a client whose manager was completely out of line with one of our employees. And he used profanity, when he talked to her. And I had this very specific response I wanted to say, to him. And David was like, oh no, when you call him, he said this, I need you to say exactly this. And I was like, for real? I have to say it like that? But it was a game changer. And I was able to immediately take control of the situation. But conflict is a big part of business that people don't talk about.
Right.
And
100%. Yeah, because you think if you have to deal with so many more people with business that it's just the percentages.
Yeah.
It
has to happen.
It has to happen, and you have to be prepared for it, evaluate whether you want to keep that business.
And fight for what you believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
and fight for it.
It's a part of it.
Yeah. One thing that I want to talk about when I think about rain that we've had is just this whole thing about when clients transition. Because I know that's difficult for people when clients, whether you fire them, because people don't realize that needs to happen.
Right.
You're not the one always getting fired, and how that has been, challenging for us, running a business, but necessary though.
I mean, it is challenging, especially when they're a source of revenue for you.
Right.
Or you've built a relationship. I mean, there have been clients that we've held on a little bit longer than I thought we would because
a relationship.
It was tough.
Right.
But it ultimately, and I think we've had to have this conversation, you have to ask yourself what's best for the business.
Yeah.
Especially when you have other employees that depend on that business that, 'cause if somebody at some point is doing something that's going to ultimately hurt the business.
Right.
It's time to part ways.
Right. And knowing how to break up, and what that looks like. It's funny. We have a client here who fired their attorney, and the attorney called me like boohoo crying. And all I could say is, I could tell this is your first breakup. I'm like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you needed to do this, because now through a lot of practice with transition in life and all of that, I let me just give you the game on how that works.
Right.
And I think so many people just are thrown off, particularly when you're a smaller business and that client could be a significant part of your revenue. We don't understand that revolving door is always revolving.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared for that. So your business is you're not financially devastated when you begin transitioning clients. Yeah.
And on that, and I don't know if this is your next question, not only transitioning clients, and you're talking about, it's good when you can transition, when you have the power,
right,
and you can transition a client off.
Right.
But it's not cool when a client is like, and it doesn't happen often.
Right.
When a client's like, you know what?
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take my business elsewhere.
Can I tell the first story about when that happened to us? Can I name names for that, you think?
No.
You don't think so?
Because we don't want to get sued.
You don't want to get sued.
It's a friend.
No. But we have a good relationship now. I think I could tell this story.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, let me tell the story. So this is a while ago. Mm-hmm. So I can't remember. Maybe this is 2005, 2004. This is the first major breakup we had. Mm-hmm. That was.
Yeah, we're going to edit that now.
Why can't I tell the story?
Because we have a client who was really hot at the time, super hot at the time. At the top of the game.
Oh my
God.
God.
The time.
This was the year of the year of the year, right?
And everything was clicking.
I mean, we were printing money this year.
Yeah, we always say, wish we were back to the client name inserted day.
We were doing so good. I think we could mention the name because
we was throwing away money.
We were living, and that was a big year because so many things were clicking that year, and because he was part of that particular label, the team, and he had made a decision. He not only fired me. He fired everybody.
Right.
And I was emotionally traumatized by it, emotionally tore up by that. And it's interesting years later to talk to him. He's, I've talked to him last year, when he needs help or advice, he still reaches out, but it just wasn't even emotionally prepared for that, but just having to be able to recover very quickly and get back on track. Because like you said, a lot of things are just beyond your control. It had nothing to do with us and the work that we were doing.
Came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere. And he had hired a new team and they cleaned house, which happens a lot. So anyway, I don't want to digress, but just basically want to emphasize the point that those things happen.
And this said person
You are so crazy.
Said he wished he had not done that.
Never done that, yeah.
Because he didn't realize,
of course,
it was a bad breakup. But
we're
not mentioning
nothing but love.
I'm just saying, I just want to throw that out there.
Nothing but love. You are crazy. So we're going to go to the hotline. I'm going to transition from your craziness now because we have a caller who needs some advice on the Thank Me Later hotline.
Hey, Jini. My name is Courtney and I'm from Houston. So I started a social media business 3 years ago, and last year we grossed $3 million. This year we're projected to gross $5 million. I want to get my mom a house, but is it too soon? At what point can I start making purchases to reflect the growth and success of my business? Thank you.
Dang, Courtney.
I know.
I have to talk to Courtney.
I know, right? She needs to be a client of ours or something. What is happening?
I need to buy me a house.
No, listen. It's interesting when I hear people, I don't know if it's cultural, where we have this love for like our mothers and our grandmothers. I'm a mom. I have all the respect in the world for people who want to do that. But I am always very, very cautious of people making these big permanent decisions. And people think, oh, you're only talking about people who work in the entertainment industry. No, I know people. I have a colleague who's an accountant who essentially wanted to retire her mother and do the same thing. And a couple years later, the math wasn't mathing anymore. So what I like to tell people to do in these situations is a one-time gift is fine. Like you pay it and then you're done. But the gift where you have to keep on giving and giving and giving, retiring your mother or your grandmother or your dad, buying a house that you have to maintain and keep up. Sometimes the math is not mathing. And, David, it's interesting to me. People are like, I want to retire my mom. Well, how much does that cost? Like, how can you make that decision? Like, you wouldn't go buy a car and just drive off the lot and you don't know how much it costs. How can you make a financial decision that big?
Especially when your mom could live to
oh my gosh
years old.
And not trying to put her in the grave early. That's why I'm saying you have not done the math.
Right.
We have a client who has done essentially that, retired their mother, and now the pain is beginning to happen a little bit. Said mom is like early 70s. She could live 20 more years, like easy.
Yeah.
We would have needed to fund an account for 25 years to make sure that we could continue to make that commitment. That requires math. So I'm not an advocate of that. Now, if you're going to give your mom $50,000, $100,000 down payment on the house and then you're done, she got it from here, I'm 100% cool with that. But if you have to keep paying the mortgage, deal with the repairs, no.
And that's subjective. It also depends on how much money you're making. Now, Courtney, if that continues, could be in a position to take care of her mom, certain aspect of her mom, buy her mom a house or car or something like that. But I don't understand. I don't think she said that a lot of people who want to retire their parent,
right?
Because you do take on that responsibility for a while. And then what I also notice is a lot, and we're talking from the standpoint of entrepreneurship, and it happens a lot with athletes and entertainers, is now everybody's sister, niece, nephew, everybody get retired at that point.
Right.
And
it's not just in entertainment or sports.
Yeah.
It's just it's business. Success.
It's success.
Right.
And you just have to be careful that, those 2 years might be great. But what happens if something happens to the economy, to your business base, and then,
can they sustain on their own?
Can they sustain? Now your mom's going to end up losing that house or whatever.
And that has happened a lot.
Yeah, that's tough to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Position them for
good
that,
intention, though.
Good intention.
Right.
So you definitely want to help your family members out if your business is doing well, but just keep in mind. And I think what a lot of people do is they might base that on what they see come in the door, and then they really haven't done the accounting.
That's gross, right? That's not net.
They're basing this off of what gross income is.
Yes.
And not after you've
all your expenses.
All those expenses, you realize, man, I can't even buy myself a house.
Right.
So that's where you have to be careful.
Right, for sure. Let's just share a couple of resources that I think might be helpful for people. I definitely think people on your entrepreneurship journey, lean into, David, you're an avid podcast. You love a lot of different business podcasts. I don't know if you had any in particular that you wanted to shout out to people, or you're like,
My First Millions. Okay. I love, and it really depends on different aspects. Some podcasts I listen to. Well, I listen to Marketplace every day.
Okay.
And that just gives me a general understanding of what's going on in the economy as a whole.
And that's NPR, y'all. I highly suggest that because it's quick, but you can get a real good sense of what's happening. You need a strong awareness as an entrepreneur of what's happening in the business world. It's a great baseline.
Because you don't know what's going on in the economy or some law that's going to be passed or whatever can affect your business.
And it's quick, short, in and out.
It's quick, short, in and out. I also listen to podcasts. Big fan of David Shan's podcast, Social Proof, because sometimes when you listen to those, you might get a tidbit from someone, and then you can be like, man, I could use that in
it's a
my
game
business.
changer.
So different. It's a number that I listen to, and members of my team listen to always. We swap them,
right?
But it's really about what that need is and where can I learn.
Right.
And what I love about podcasting, is, I don't have time to read a book. People say you should.
Right. But you can listen.
But you can listen.
Right.
And podcasting a lot of times can help you, depending on the guest or whatever, can help you skip the line.
Right.
Also, when you don't have that mentor.
Right. Yeah, because mentorship is huge. I would also suggest checking in with our community, the Thank Me Later community. Go to thankmelater.money and check in with us. And then what's interesting, a lot of people just overlook it. If you just want some quick information, the SBA actually has some decent information. That's SBA, Small Business Administration, SBA.gov. So I would certainly check them out for sure. All right, I want to talk about a couple other business challenges that we've had.
All right.
HR employees.
Tough.
Very tough. Hiring, firing, being sued by, like the gamut. We have seen it all for sure.
Yeah. Tough.
Yeah.
Because first of all, employees don't understand, and I've been an employee, so I don't get it. They think, oh, this business is making all this money.
Right.
And they don't really understand all of the expenses that the business has. Right. For a lot of times as a business owner, you pay an employee more than you make it.
Even before you're paying
Even
yourself.
before you pay yourself.
For sure.
Because you have to keep continuing to reinvest in the business. That's another thing that people don't understand when they start a business is you can't count on that money coming in the door as a part of your income yet, because you have to pour a lot into that business to get it going. So, and employees are a major part
typically a company's biggest expense, and it is difficult if someone's not working for a major company like Coca-Cola or UPS. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But a business owner, people don't understand that's their life.
Yeah.
So how they approach it is very differently.
Yeah.
So working for a small business, but one thing that I advise all entrepreneurs on, please don't play with payroll. Yeah. Like, do it. Pay your people right, above board, legit, because you don't want any of that to come back on you. You can't afford one of the big payroll services. You can run payroll through QuickBooks or something. Please run actual payroll. Please don't play with that. Okay. And there's a reason all those HR rules, doing reviews and documenting people, super, super important that you do that. And you're like, I got 25,000 things going on. It's easy to say that's not important. And then it becomes important when something happens.
Right.
And that happens all the time. So I want to make sure that you are, you're focusing on those things and not, again, like, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal.
And just even the process of finding the right employee.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's like a relationship. You can go through a lot of time trying to find people, train them.
Yes.
Spend a lot of energy into them, and then they're not the right fit,
right?
Or they're not who they say they are, or whatever. And that's money gone.
Yeah, for sure. One thing in the role of being a business manager, I've done a lot of firing for other people. Yeah, because a lot of people don't want to do it. They're not built for it. Please don't hire anybody that you can't fire.
True.
It's super important that you do that. If you can't fire them, please do not hire them. And because it's a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Everyone's not going to stay forever. But it gets just so sticky if there's so much of a relationship and you cannot terminate people. You have to be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Another situation, what I've noticed people, David, in entrepreneurship, I think people don't understand your business has two jobs. Your business is supposed to support your life today. Pay the business, pay your bills, give you the money that you need. But it also has the job of financing your tomorrow, meaning your retirement. And I see people spending all their money on today. Then they get our age. And I'm like, so now what y'all going to do?
Yeah.
And so what that means, the basics is you have to be funding your retirement. That's your business's job. Your business is not doing a good job if it cannot fund your today and your tomorrow.
And I give you 100% credit for really making sure that's something that we've done. That's always been your thing as far as making sure that we're preparing
for the future.
For the future.
Right. And I think I've been, I'm naturally kind of paranoid about a few things, financial things. But I think I got that way just being in a family where I've had too many relatives who've outlived their money.
Right.
And I'm like, that is not going to be us. And so the money just doesn't fall out the sky one day. Like you have to save and prepare for that.
And invest.
Saving
is just not it. Yeah.
And so I've just seen people who just blow that off. And then, the days turn into weeks turn into months. And now here we are in our 50s. Now we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I have a lot of colleagues who are our age. And I'm like, so what y'all going to do now? Because in your 30s, you wanted to spend all your money now, or in your 40s, you have to commit to your retirement. You cannot live on Social Security right now. And y'all young people, y'all probably not even going to get none. If you have a 3 or a 4 in front of your age, I don't even know if y'all going to have any money.
Especially as an entrepreneur, if we're going to keep it on the entrepreneur side,
right.
is, when you work for a business, there are things in place that help you retire or help you or might match you if you work for the right company.
Yeah. And it's becoming less and less because pensions don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
That's a thing of the past.
So a lot of company benefits,
they're gone.
They're gone. So as an entrepreneur, you really have to be careful about separating some money and putting some to the side and just manage it until it can take care of yourself or whatever. You
have to treat it like a bill, and not like a bill that doesn't matter, like your mortgage or rent or your car insurance level of importance. Right. You have to build that into your budget. It's not optional. Any other business challenges you want to talk through and you think about, ooh?
I mean, there are a lot. Even I remember the first time I left the company and then all of a sudden insurance was 100% ours.
Oh my gosh.
Insurance costs how much?
What?
Cobra only lasts how long?
Are you serious?
Oh my goodness. So, and those prices go up?
I mean, for a company of our size, what we spend on benefits, I'm like, why does this cost so much? This is insane.
And good for you because you are one of the few businesses that really want to make sure the benefits are good. A lot of small businesses
oh no, I don't play about that.
Yeah, we're not paying that.
I'm like, no, we're gonna have like Lexus, like Cadillac level benefits, but also that's something I really learned when my mom was sick before she passed away. That her level of benefits is why she got such good health care. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that will never be us.
But not only some people will do that, protect themselves.
Right.
You do that to protect.
No, I make sure everybody, if I have it, that means everybody's going to have it. No, if we have it, everybody has to have it.
Right.
Yeah, no, I do. I believe in that. And again, a lot of it comes out of paranoia and fear. That's why I'm like, health insurance is important, but I'm like, no, like we pay short-term and long-term disability for everybody. We pay 100% of that because I know what that means to have that life event. A lot of young people are like, oh, I'm fine, nothing's going to happen till something happens. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, no. we're going to make that investment for people. So please don't ever skimp on those benefits. You know, there's nothing more devastating than when someone's been working and then they have a life event, an illness or an accident.
Yep.
Life is going to continue to happen. I think we've been able to, you know, withstand some of the storm of that. Last thing that I want to talk to you about.
Right.
We talked.
We're reaching our limit.
I know. But in our last episode, we alluded to when it's appropriate to upgrade your life. Like when that happens.
Never.
It's just,
I'm just kidding.
You're a fun killer. But I think that's something people don't know. Like, how do you know, as an entrepreneur, how do you know when it's time? Like, oh, I can afford a new house. Like I'm fly. I can get that new car
I think it's all within it. It depends. An upgrade to one person is an upgrade to,
that's fair.
It's different.
It's relative.
If you've done all the math and it makes sense at the end, and you driving a Hyundai and now you want to drive a Lexus and it makes sense, then upgrade.
Right.
But if you're driving a Honda, and nothing wrong with Hondas.
No.
And you do all the math, and it's not clear, but now you want a Bentley, then you can't, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
A lot of it is you upgrade truly as needed, and make sure it's an upgrade that I think that people should upgrade on assets rather than you need the new Louis Vuitton purse or whatever, things that are 100% liabilities.
Right. Don't appreciate. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And if you can figure out a way how to get that at a deal or I don't know what, for whatever marketing reason, it's truly a marketing reason, not just something for you to floss out at, then maybe, or if it's a business write-off, depending on the business, truly a write-off. But other than that, it's about doing the math and taking small steps.
Right. Right. Yeah. Only thing I can say about that is the rain is coming. And I think a lot of people just think things are going so well, they're always going to go well. No, they're not. And how much rain can you take? So how much runway do you have? Do you have like 3 months of money put away? You have 6 months. If something happens business-wise, how long can you last?
That's true too.
And so that's what I've always been thinking about, because a business is always a cycle. It's up and down. It's never always this perfect straight line. And it's certainly never just up. So the rain is going to come. Are you prepared for that rain?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So not only doing the math, but making sure in that equation that you are putting enough to the side or building that pot or building those assets that generate continuous income and then live off that. So if that's the case, then there's nothing wrong with treating yourself for
no, you should be
your hard work.
No, and you should, but again, you can't make a financial decision without understanding the impact of it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that we're really trying to stress here. I think one reason too, as I was listening to your answer, I was thinking about part of the reason why I think we were also so conservative. Part of it, I think, is a function of our personalities, but I also think working in the entertainment industry taught us exactly what not to do.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Like,
you've seen it come and go.
I have seen so much money come and go. And just the extreme. I can tell a million stories on clients who I knew when spring came that we were going to buy a new car or 2 new cars. And the car was never enough. Then you had to have the car before everybody else. I mean, I have literally paid $200,000 more for a car because someone needed it off the boat because they had to have it first. So you name it, and it's just never enough. There's never enough of it. So when you get into that, you can't compete with it because it never stops. There's never enough shoes, clothes.
You can't win that game.
You cannot win that game. And I just remember literally as we began working in entertainment, literally praying, saying, please release us from that. because you can't compete in that.
Right.
So I don't even want to be in any of that at all. Let me get over here and just focus on my life and have the stability that we want, and let's just save this money and keep going.
Right.
So again, have your fun, but plan, please plan for it, because the rain is coming. That's not us being haters. But,
and the last thing I'll say, because we're wrapping up, I believe.
Yep, we are.
You know, we were poor. I was.
Yeah, I was too. Yeah.
But, you know, you don't want to go back to that.
Oh, my God.
It's a lot of pain in that. So if I got to skip a few things that are so-called upgrades or whatever, so that I don't, to make sure I don't ever go back there,
right,
then I'll rather skip a few of those things. I don't need to eat out at the top. I don't care about any of that.
Right.
Because I need to make sure I ain't like not eating at all.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that pain is real.
It's real.
There's nothing worse. You know, it's one thing to have been broke, but to have been broke and then had money and then lost it.
Oh.
Yeah. That is the worst pain I've ever seen in people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've seen that multiple times in the business that we have. Especially
when your image or your whatever the word is, self-worth or image is that I'm this super successful fly, and I have all this stuff. When that's gone and that's all that you are known, what you think you're known by,
super painful.
It's hard to, it's hard to recover for that. So I'd rather look broke. Yeah. I'd rather that than, because then when you're really broke, then you'll have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
cool.
It's you haven't built up this thing that people see you at or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'd rather. Yeah, I don't have any money.
Yeah, but you have to live below your means. If there's no other advice that I can give you, if you live below your means, no one ever complains about, oh man, I saved too much money. No one ever says that.
Yeah, have fun.
Oh, no doubt. We have fun now.
Yeah.
No, we definitely have fun.
So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that.
Okay. All right. So as we wrap up, I want you to fill in the blank. If you blank, you will thank me later. If you what? In the context of entrepreneurship.
If you prepare for the rainy days or you prepare for the storms, you will thank me later.
I think you just stole mine.
Sorry.
I don't think you're really sorry.
Go first
though.
Next time.
I know it. I don't think you're really okay. If you understand your numbers, okay. So if you understand your accounting, you will definitely thank me later. All right, David, I'm not even going to bother because, again, you don't have any social media, so I'm not even going to bother to tell people to do that.
Coming soon.
Okay. No, it's not. It's definitely not. So just a couple things. Couple call to action. Be willing to pivot. Be willing to pivot your circumstances. Mm-hmm. And please create a budget, personal and business. That's your homework assignment from this episode, right? It ain't got to be real fancy, but I need you to do that. Please engage with me on social media at TML Money and at Jini Thornton. And you can learn more about us at thankmelatershow.com. And please watch our other episodes. And thank you. Thank you for tuning into the Thank Me Later show with me, your host, Jini Thornton, where we help you master your money and transform your life. We will see you next episode.